When you look up at the night sky, the stars might seem calm, peaceful, and eternal, tiny points of light scattered across the darkness. But the truth is far more dramatic. The universe is a violent and mysterious place, and stars are some of the most powerful and explosive objects that exist. Some stars are so enormous that they could swallow our entire solar system. Others spin so fast they nearly tear themselves apart. And when certain stars die, they explode in gigantic blasts called supernovas. Events so powerful they can briefly outshine entire galaxies. But the craziest part is that these explosions are not just cosmic fireworks. They are responsible for creating many of the elements that make up planets, oceans, and even the human body. In fact, the iron in your blood and the calcium in your bones were once created inside ancient stars that exploded billions of years ago. So today, we are going to explore some of the most unbelievable facts about stars and supernovas. By the end of this video, you might never look at the night sky the same way again. Stars are giant nuclear reactors. Every star in the universe is powered by a process called nuclear fusion. Deep inside the core of a star, temperatures can reach more than 15 million degrees Celsius. Under these extreme conditions, hydrogen atoms are crushed together with such force that they fuse into helium. When this fusion happens, an enormous amount of energy is released. This energy pushes outward, while gravity pulls inward. The balance between these two forces keeps the star stable for billions of years. Our Sun performs this process every second, converting about 600 million tons of hydrogen into helium. Even more incredible, the energy produced by our Sun every second is greater than the total energy humanity has ever used in its entire history. And yet, the Sun is actually considered a very average star.
Some stars are unbelievably huge. While our Sun seems enormous to us, there are stars in the universe that make it look tiny. One of the most famous giant stars is UY Scuti, a red supergiant located about 9,500 light-years away from Earth. This star is so massive that if it replaced our Sun, its surface would extend past the orbit of Jupiter. Imagine standing on Earth and looking up, except the entire sky would be filled with the burning surface of a gigantic star. Even light would take hours just to travel across the surface of such a giant star. Stars like this represent the extreme limits of how large a star can grow before gravity and instability eventually tear it apart. Stars are born in giant cosmic clouds. Stars are not eternal. They are born, they live for millions or billions of years, and eventually they die. Stars begin their lives inside enormous clouds of gas and dust called nebulae. These clouds can stretch across hundreds of light-years and contain enough material to create thousands of stars. Over time, gravity slowly pulls the gas together into dense regions. As these regions collapse, they heat up and form a glowing object known as a protostar. Eventually, the core becomes hot enough for nuclear fusion to begin, and a new star is born. This process can take millions of years. Right now, in distant regions of space, new stars are being born inside glowing nebulae. Some stars spin at insane speeds. Not all stars rotate slowly like the Sun. Some stars spin so fast that they are almost torn apart by their own rotation. One incredible example is VFTS 102, a star that spins at nearly 1 million miles per hour. At this speed, the star becomes stretched and flattened. Instead of being perfectly round, it bulges outward at the equator. If it spun just a little faster, the star would start throwing its own material into space. Scientists believe some of these ultra-fast stars were accelerated after surviving violent cosmic events like supernova explosions nearby. The death of a star can create a supernova. Eventually, Many stars reach the end of their lives. When this happens, something extraordinary can occur. If the star is massive enough, its core collapses under gravity in a fraction of a second. This sudden collapse creates a powerful shock wave that blasts the outer layers of the star into space. This massive explosion is called a supernova. For a brief moment, a supernova can release more energy than our sun will produce during its entire 10 billion-year lifetime. The explosion expands outward at speeds of tens of thousands of kilometers per second, sending gas and newly formed elements across the galaxy. Supernovas can outshine entire galaxies. One of the most astonishing things about supernovas is their brightness. When a supernova occurs, the exploding star can become billions of times brighter than the sun. For several weeks or months, it may shine brighter than all the other stars in its galaxy combined. Ancient civilizations actually recorded these events. In the year 1054, Chinese astronomers observed a guest star appearing suddenly in the sky. It was so bright, it could be seen during the daytime. What they witnessed was a supernova explosion whose remnants are now known as the Crab Nebula. Even today, that expanding cloud of gas continues to grow larger in space. Supernovas created the elements of life. One of the most mind-blowing discoveries in astronomy is that supernovas create many of the elements found in the universe. During the explosion, temperatures and pressures become so extreme that new atomic elements form. Elements like iron, gold, silver, uranium, nickel. These materials are blasted into space, where they eventually mix with gas clouds that will form new stars and planets.
Billions of years ago, a supernova explosion likely spread these elements into the cloud that later formed our solar system. This means that the atoms inside your body were once part of ancient exploding stars. As astronomer Carl Sagan famously said, "We are made of star stuff." The strange remains of exploded stars. After a supernova explosion, the core of the star may collapse into something incredibly strange. One possibility is a neutron star. Neutron stars are among the densest objects in the universe. They pack more mass than our sun into a sphere only about 20 kilometers wide. That means a teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh about 1 billion tons on Earth. These objects are so dense that atoms themselves collapse, leaving behind mostly neutrons packed together like an enormous atomic nucleus. Pulsars, the spinning corpses of stars. Some neutron stars spin extremely fast and emit beams of radiation from their poles. These objects are called pulsars. As the pulsar rotates, its beams sweep across space like the beam of a lighthouse. If Earth happens to lie in the path of those beams, we detect regular pulses of radio waves. Some pulsars spin hundreds of times per second. One of the fastest known pulsars rotates 716 times every second. That means an entire star spinning faster than a kitchen blender. Magnetars, the most dangerous stars. An even more extreme type of neutron star is called a magnetar. Magnetars possess the strongest magnetic fields known in the universe. Their magnetic fields are trillions of times stronger than Earth's. If a magnetar passed within about halfway between Earth and the Moon, its magnetic force could destroy electronic devices across our planet. Even worse, it could distort atoms themselves. Fortunately, magnetars are extremely rare and located far away from our solar system. Some stars refuse to die. One of the strangest discoveries in recent astronomy is something called zombie stars.
Normally,
When a star explodes as a supernova, it is completely destroyed. But scientists have discovered cases where the explosion is weaker, allowing the star to survive. After the blast, the damaged star continues shining. It is as if the star attempted to die, but somehow came back. These strange survivors challenge our understanding of how stellar explosions work. A future supernova in our sky. One of the most famous stars in the night sky is Betelgeuse, located in the constellation Orion. Betelgeuse is a gigantic red supergiant nearing the end of its life. Astronomers believe it will eventually explode as a supernova. When that happens, the explosion could be so bright that it might be visible even during the daytime for several weeks. At night, it could appear almost as bright as the moon. Fortunately, Betelgeuse is about 640 light-years away, so the explosion would be spectacular but harmless to Earth. The cycle of cosmic creation. The story of stars and supernovas is not just about destruction. It is also about creation. When stars explode, they spread heavy elements across the galaxy. These materials eventually become part of new stars, planets, and maybe even life. In a sense, every generation of stars helps create the next. The universe is constantly recycling itself. Stars are born, they shine for billions of years, they explode, and their remains become the building blocks of future worlds.